Paul, thanks for joining us. I know you've been under the weather this week, so we appreciate your time. I can't believe I'm going to ask this, but is it FA Cup fever? I thought you'd like that.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like that, yeah. It's a nice break from the league, obviously. FA Cup fever, wow. How long have you been working on that? Have you
Since the dog walk this morning.
Oh, well done. Well done. Yes, we've got obviously travelling down today and hopefully give a good account of ourselves tomorrow night.
What does the competition mean to you in terms of, well, as a manager, former player and a fan, I guess, first and foremost?
I think when I was younger, it was like, I mean, obviously I'm in my 50s, so I can say this to the demographic of the fan base, but it was some of the only games that were on TV, so they were like a big deal when there was an FA Cup game. And then when I became a player, I remember I played in the FA Vars initially, the non-league version, and then progressed to the FA Cup. And I always enjoyed my FA Cup games, and there were always games, whether you were the underdog or the favourite, you had something to prove, and you could. It sounds a bit weird, but there's constant pressure in league games, and there's pressure to do well in the cup. Don't get me wrong, but as a player, it always felt a bit different. It just felt a bit of a freer game. I think it's my appreciation of it. I'm not speaking on behalf of the dressing room. That's just my opinion. And then as a manager, I've always tried to do well and get as far as we could.
There's obviously been changes to the competition and changes again this season, no replays. Does that change anything at all, the fact that there will be a winner at Brisbane Road on Saturday?
No, I can't say I've changed any selection or tactics based on the replay. I think it's a good thing because we are fixture heavy at this time of year, or just come through the worst part. So no replay I think is a good thing for me selfishly. If I was a manager at a different club and I would like the opportunity to bring a good club back to our gaff, or vice versa, I understand what a fundraiser it is for smaller clubs. But if I just think about managing Derby, I think is a good thing.
I'll come back to the Cup. Has been a player transaction since we last spoke. Sonny Bradley's gone out on loan for the rest of the season. What's the sort of thinking behind that move?
I think it's quite obvious. I don't think it's surprised anybody. Sonny, since the start of the season, once we bought that in at the end of the window, was always perceived, possibly by myself, which is the most important, but as the fourth choice centre-half. He's been an absolute model pro, always trained really well, always gave everything. But we had a conversation, me and him, about 2 months ago, maybe more, that if he wasn't getting any game time, January he'd want to go. And I respected that. But I also had the conversation of, I need you to, show me the same respect and the group, and still train at a level, and when needed, I want you to play. Even when we spoke about the opportunity came about, and he did want to have another promotion on his CV, did want to go. There's loads of teams who obviously would have took him, but he wanted to go somewhere that were challenging for something. Even then, if I could guarantee him, more starts, he possibly would have stayed. But I can't guarantee anyone that. So I think it was sort of a fair, natural end to it for both of us. He'd been a good player for us. It sounds awful to say he served a purpose. I don't mean it like that, but football's you're always trying to get better, and with this window, if we're fortunate enough to get 3 more players in, what normally happens is the 3 right at the bottom, so to speak, move on as well, and that's just the nature of it. So he goes with my blessing. I spoke to him on Monday, and obviously he played his first game on Tuesday, so hopefully he'll be involved in another promotion, which would be great for him.
You reference what you'd like to do there. Fair to say the hard work continues behind the scenes?
Yeah, that's a constant thing, as you well know. So hopefully, I'd like to think we'd have a new face in before next week, but maybe that's too optimistic. But we definitely need to refresh and improve the group in just certain areas. So that is a constant daily, hourly thing, really.
back to this weekend in the FA Cup, away at Leyton Orient, who you faced last season in the league, and who are on a brilliant run at the moment, looking at their record.
Yeah, I mean, Rich has just got Manager of the Month. I think they've won 7. I don't know if did they win 7 out of 8. Haven't conceded hardly a goal. In really good form at home. So, as I would in every single game, that they will fancy their chances taking us on. So it'll be a tough ask. And I've been talking to the players out there then that you had to watch the game last night, like Everton and Peterborough. Like, it doesn't matter about leagues really. Cup games are what they are. Like, they're just, and that's probably what the excitement is. There's just 2 teams going at it. The status, the form, in my opinion, doesn't really count for a great deal, but it's just about 2 teams trying to go through. So I know it'll be a tough game. We'll have to be our very best, and we'll definitely have to be more clinical in the final third.
In terms of your group, I'd be amazed if you're the only one that's suffering this week. Has illness affected what you're going to be able to do in terms of your selection?
Yeah, a little bit. We were intending to do a few things. A few players unfortunately missed, an injury here or there, another issue. So we have got a mixed bag, but a good bag at that. So I back the lads, so it's no drama. We have got a few staff not making the journey today as well. So, I think football clubs aren't, I mean, I know we think they are, but they're not in a bubble. They're, societal. They've got kids at school, the lads have, we have. So, I think it's fair to say there is a lot knocking about at the moment. And, unfortunately, we haven't, as a group in the last 10 days, been able to miss it. And it just, at the moment, it's just a little bit on top of us. But that doesn't mean we haven't got a good team, or when the team comes out, everyone can see it's a good team. So, hopefully we'll have enough.